Why do 90% of people fail to change their lives? Imagine, you have a powerful ship in your hands. The ship has a modern engine, it has fuel, it has direction. But the problem is, there are hundreds of small holes at the bottom of the ship. Every day, you want to move forward. Every day, you run the engine with more power. Every day, you try harder. But at the end of the day, you see, you are exactly where you were. Have you ever thought, why do some people completely change within a few years while some people remain stuck in the same place even after 10 years? Are they more intelligent, more fortunate, or do they have some secret that we do not know? Today's story is about an ordinary man. His name is Arif. At one time, he used to believe the biggest problem in his life was money. Later, he thought the problem was opportunity. Then he thought the problem was people. But one day, he discovered a truth which completely changed his entire life. And that same truth might change your life too. The man who started a new life every day. Arif used to live in a small rented house in a busy area of Dhaka. Aged 29, he worked in a private company. He was not in a very bad condition. Again, he was not very well off either. Every day he woke up in the morning, went to the office, worked all day, returned home at night, scrolled his mobile, watched YouTube, then he fell asleep. Again the same cycle, again the same day, again the same life. Looking from the outside, everything was normal. But inside, Arif harbored a secret agony. He knew he could have been much more than this. Some of his school friends had started businesses. Some were abroad. Some held big positions in jobs. Whenever he opened social media, it felt like everyone was moving forward, except him. Around 2 a.m., Arif's sleep would often break. He would stare at the ceiling, say to himself, "Where am I actually going? Who will I be after another 5 years? Is this life my entire future?" The questions came, the answers did not. The next morning, he would take a new resolution again. From today, I will change. From today, I will study regularly. From today, I will go to the gym. From today, I will use the mobile less. From today, I will change my life. But before evening set in, all promises would vanish away. One day of gym, 2 days skipped. One day of reading a book, a 3-day break. One day of medication, then forgetting about it. In this way, months passed, years passed, life also kept passing by. The most terrifying thing was, Arif was not failing. He could not even begin. The invisible prison. One Friday afternoon, Arif went to meet his old friend, Raihan. After many years, in university, they were almost identical. Same results, same dreams, same position. But now, Raihan's life was completely different. Raihan has a small software company, his own office, his own team, confidence, peace. Arif stared in wonder. While having tea, he asked, "How did you come this far?" Raihan smiled, said, "I am not more intelligent than you, not more fortunate either. I only understood one thing." Arif leaned forward with interest. Raihan gestured toward the teacup placed on the table, said, "Suppose this cup is your life. Every day you are pouring water into it. New decisions, new motivation, new goals, new dreams. But if there is a hole at the bottom of the cup, then no matter how much water you pour, the cup will never fill up." Arif became silent. Raihan slowly said, "The problem for people is not the goal. The problem for people is the system. The problem for people is not the dream. The problem for people is the habit. You start a new life every day, but you keep living as the old person." That remark hit Arif's head like a hammer. That night, after returning home, he could not sleep. A question kept chasing him. What if the problem is truly not my situation, but myself? That very night, the most important journey of his life began. But even then, he did not know the biggest war to change a human being is not against the outside world, it is against one's own old identity. Why do 90% of people fail to change their lives? The secret power of small changes. That night was not like any other night in Arif's life. 1 a.m. on the clock. He is lying in bed with his mobile in hand. But today, he is not scrolling through social media. Today, only one thought is spinning inside his head. You start a new life every day, but you keep living as the old person. Raihan's words were ringing in his ears repeatedly. Suddenly, he thought about his past 5 years. How many times he had made decisions to learn English, to exercise, to learn a new skill, to read books, to save money, but none of it lasted. For the first time, he asked himself an uncomfortable question. Is the problem truly my laziness, or am I trying to change the wrong way? The next day, after finishing office, he called Raihan. You said the system needs to be changed. How do I do that? On the other side of the phone, Raihan laughed and said, Come to my office this evening. I'll show you something. In the evening, Arif reached Raihan's office. There was a simple white paper on Raihan's table. A tree was drawn right in the middle of it. A tiny seed at the bottom and a massive tree at the top. Raihan said, Which one comes first? Arif said in surprise, The seed. And what do people want? The tree. That is the problem. Raihan stood up from his chair. Everyone wants the result. No one wants the process. People want six-packs, but they don't want to walk for 20 minutes every day. People want confidence, but they don't want to do uncomfortable work every day. People want to be rich, but they don't want to keep track of their money every day. Arif listened silently. Raihan said, You wanted to build a tree all this time, but you weren't planting the seed. A big change never starts with a big decision. A big change starts with a small habit. Arif was thinking maybe he would be given some difficult routine now. Waking up at 5 a.m., studying for 3 hours every day, gym, meditation, something difficult. But what Raihan said left him dumbfounded. For the next 30 days, you will read only 2 pages of a book every day. Arif was surprised. Only 2 pages? Yes. What will happen because of this? Raihan smiled. The problem is not finishing the book. The problem is building the habit of sitting down every day. People don't fail because they don't read books. People fail because they are not consistent. We are not learning to read books right now. We are learning to be regular. Even though it sounded strange, Arif agreed. The first day, 10 p.m., Arif opened a book, read 2 pages, finished. Only 4 minutes. A voice from inside him said, Is this even any work? Will life change with this? But he remembered Raihan's words. Don't do it for the result. Do it to change your identity. The second day, again 2 pages. The third day, again 2 pages. The fourth day, he does not feel like reading today. Had a bad day at the office, head is aching, but He read just 2 pages. The 5th day, again. The 6th day, again. 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, nothing changed. The bank account is the same, the job is the same, the salary is the same, life is the same. But, strangely, one thing has started to change. He has started to look at himself through different eyes. Before, he used to think of himself, I am disorganized, I am not consistent, I start but cannot finish. Now a new identity is slowly forming. I am a person who keeps his promises. And right there, the seed of the biggest change in his life was planted. Because when people change their actions, life changes a little. But when people change their identity, then the entire future changes. One evening after office, Arif went to Raihan's office again. It has been a month. He has been reading 2 pages of a book every day. He has not missed a single day. But a question was in his mind. I am becoming regular, but I am not seeing any big change. Where is that result? Raihan remained silent for a while. Then looking outside the window, he said, Have you ever heard the story of the Chinese bamboo tree? No. The Chinese bamboo tree seed is planted in the ground. The first year, nothing happens. The second year, nothing happens. The third year, still nothing happens above the ground. Arif listened in surprise. Raihan said slowly, But in the 5th year, in just a few weeks, it grows up to 80-90 feet. The question is, did the bamboo tree grow big in a few weeks? Or was it growing for 5 years? Arif said nothing, because he had understood the answer. The entire time, roots were being formed, which cannot be seen with the eyes. Raihan said, People see results. Nature sees roots. You are creating roots right now. Have patience. That very evening on his way back home, Arif noticed a strange thing. Before, returning from the office, he would sit on the sofa, then mobile for hours after hours. But now, he feels restless until he reads the book, as if something is incomplete. He suddenly realized, before, he used to try to read books. Now, he's a reader. Before, he used to try to save money. Now, he's a person who keeps track of accounts. Before, he wanted to improve. Now, he's a person who improves every day. A small difference, but the most important difference in life. Because people cannot hold on to behavior, but they can hold on to identity. One who thinks of oneself as a smoker will try to quit cigarettes. One who thinks of oneself as a non-smoker, not smoking cigarettes is natural for them. One who thinks of oneself as lazy will look for motivation. One who thinks of oneself as disciplined will work. That day, for the first time, Arif understood. His war was not with the outside world. It was with his own old identity. A few months passed. 2 pages have now become 10 pages. 10 pages to 20 pages. Alongside books, he also started an online course. 20 minutes every day. Just 20 minutes. Nothing more. But one afternoon, an incident happened at the office. A senior employee of the company suddenly left the job. The management is looking for someone new. Some reports have to be prepared. Some data has to be analyzed. Everyone at the office is busy. No one wants to take the responsibility. Suddenly, Arif raised his hand. I can try. Everyone in the room was surprised, because the Arif of a few months ago would never say such a thing. The manager was also surprised. Will you be able to do it? Arif replied, I want to try. Confidence in his voice for the first time. Because all the books he had read over the past few months, all the notes he had written, all the skills he had learned, everything was slowly accumulating inside him. Just like money accumulates in a bank. A little at first, then interest upon interest, then a blast at one point. This is the compound effect. Small work, small improvement, small habit, which turns into a massive result one day. For the next 2 weeks, Arif worked night and day. Office responsibilities, his own learning, new reports, new analyses, new presentations. He was not perfect, but he was ready. Because when luck knocked on the door, he was not asleep. A few days later, the manager called him into the office. Arif's heart was thumping. Did he make a mistake, or has there been a problem? The manager looked at him quietly and said, "What change has occurred in you over the past 6 months?" Arif said nothing. He spoke again. "Before, you only used to carry out orders. Now you think, solve problems, take responsibility. Looking at you, it seems you've become a different person." Arif's body trembled, because this was the truth. He had become a different person. Not in one day, not in 1 week. In everyday small decisions, in invisible changes, in the long process of creating roots. That day, when leaving the office, rain was falling in the sky. Arif was standing under the awning. Suddenly he remembered, a few months ago he was looking for results. Today he understands the result is never the goal. The result is the shadow of identity. What you do every day, in the end, you become exactly that. 1 year later, the Arif of 1 year ago and the Arif of today were not the same person. His salary has increased. Responsibilities have increased. Confidence has increased. But the biggest change was somewhere else. He no longer doubted himself. Every day looking in the mirror in the morning, he knew, I am a person who values his own words. And there are very few feelings in the world more powerful than this. One night, Arif was looking through his old diaries. There it was written, "Will change from tomorrow. Will start from next month. One day I will be successful." He smiled lightly, because now he has understood. The problem was never tomorrow. The problem was the everyday small decisions. Right then, he remembered that remark of Raihan. A person does not ruin their future in one day. They ruin it slowly with everyday small decisions. And in the same way, a person does not build their future in one day. They build it with everyday small decisions. Most people say, I want to lose 10 kg of weight. I want to be rich. I want to be confident. But very few people say, I want to be a person who takes care of his own body. I want to be a person who knows how to manage money. I want to be a person who works even when afraid. The goal is temporary. Identity is permanent. When identity changes, then life starts changing on its own. Do not neglect small tasks. A mountain cannot be broken with a single drop of water, but millions of drops can. Reading a book for one day does not change life. Exercising for one day does not change life. Saving for one day does not change life. But the repetition of hundreds of days creates miraculous changes. People often overestimate their future excessively and underestimate today's small task. This is the biggest mistake. Consistency is more powerful than talent. Arif was not extraordinarily talented. He was not a genius either. But he did one thing. He did not stop. There are countless talented people in the world who have given up halfway. And there are countless ordinary people who succeeded just because they stayed on. Because talent helps to start, but consistency delivers to the final destination. Your environment creates your future. If Raihan were not there, maybe Arif would never have changed. A good book, a good friend, a good idea, a good question, these sometimes change an entire life. What you are watching every day, what you are listening to, with whom you are spending time, these are creating the blueprint of your future, whether you realize it or not. Do not break promises made to yourself. Do you know what the most dangerous habit in the world is? giving your word to yourself and not keeping it. Because every time you break your own promise, your confidence dies little by little. And every time you keep your own word, your self-respect is born little by little. Before becoming a big person, become a trustworthy person in your own eyes. Everything starts from there. The final realization. On a winter morning that year, before going to the office, Arif was standing on the rooftop watching the sun rise. A light cold breeze, a calm sky. The city is slowly waking up. Suddenly, a question came to his mind. What if I had given up 1 year ago? If he had thought, what will happen by reading 2 pages? What's the problem if I don't read today? We'll start from tomorrow. Then maybe his life would still be stuck in the exact same old place. And right then he understood, a person's life does not change with big decisions. Life changes with small decisions, which nobody sees, for which nobody claps, the results of which are not seen at first. But one day, suddenly everyone says, "Wow, how did you change so much?" They see the result, but they did not see the roots. They see the tree, but they did not see the seed. They see the success, but they did not see the thousands of silent days. Maybe at this moment you are also feeling like Arif. Maybe you also feel like life is not moving forward. Maybe you have started and stopped many times. Maybe you have lost faith in yourself. But remember, to change your life, you do not have to do something massive today itself. You only have to keep a small promise, so small that you can do it tomorrow as well, the day after tomorrow as well, a month as well, a year as well. Because in the end, a person does not reach the height of their life. A person reaches the height of their habits. And maybe after today's video ends, your life will also start to change. Not with a big decision, with a small decision. 1 page, 1 walk, 1 note, 1 promise. And right from there will begin your own transformation journey.